I Am Anonymous, Chapter 1, Part 2. Enter Jacob Irving. Over the next few hours, Anonymous gathers materials for a temporary shelter. It's a small slanted shelter no taller than Anonymous's waist. It takes him about 20 minutes to build. After that, he made a fire pit and a spit, which didn't take long. Then, he spends several hours hunting with a modified spear. He uses a stick with his knife tied to the tip of the stick with some vines. At about 8:30, Anonymous has bagged 2 squirrels. He cleaned them and began cooking them over the fire. Anonymous turns the stick on which the squirrels are roasting. He thinks about his current situation and the events that have transpired recently. A whole new dimension with anthropomorphic ponies. It's mind-blowing. Anonymous sees the squirrels are done, so he removes a roasting stick and breaks it in half to separate them. He lays one squirrel on the rocks surrounding the fire pit and eats the other. He's about halfway through the first squirrel when he hears some leaves rustling. Anonymous slowly reaches for his knife, which is laying by his leg. The night is dark enough to where he can't see what's around him. The fire illuminates only 10 feet around the camp. A twig snaps as Anonymous grabs his knife. Something comes out of the dark. Some pony. It's Twilight Sparkle. She's wearing a saddlebag on her back, but she's not wearing her crown. "Princess, this is an unexpected visit," Anonymous states as he releases his knife. "Please call me Twilight. I don't like being called Princess that much." "Okay, Twilight," Anonymous emphasizes. "Twilight, what do I owe the pleasure?" "I was wanting to see if you were all right." Anonymous spreads his arms out and motions at the camp. "Wouldn't you say I'm all right?" "Yes, I would. I'm impressed with your setup. Seems cozy." "It's not a 5-star hotel, but it will do." Anonymous takes another bite out of the squirrel. Twilight winces as she sees this. She knows that humans are omnivores, but seeing humans eat another creature is strange. Soon, awkwardness fills the air. "So, Anon," Twilight says. "Can I call you that, by the way?" "Sure." "Can I ask you a question, Anon?" "Go ahead. Have a seat while you're at it." Anon points to a large rock near the fire pit. Twilight sits on the rock and asks, "Why did you turn down sleeping at Applejack's barn?" Anon tosses the roasting stick into the fire and picks up the last one. "I told you then, and I'll let you know now I can handle myself. Not that I didn't appreciate the offer. I preferred to be on my own." "Let me ask you another question. Why do you like being by yourself?" Anon takes a bite from the second squirrel and looks at Twilight with a blank stare through the flames of the fire. The stare creeps her out. She can tell that something is wrong with Anonymous because his posture changes. Then she asks the question. And Anon went from sitting straight to leaning towards her. "That's none of your damn business," Anon says in a low voice. He returns to his previous position. "I'm sorry, Anon. I didn't mean to intrude in your personal life," Twilight apologizes. "I'm just trying to understand how you operate." Anon sets down the half-eaten squirrel and glares at Twilight. She can tell that he isn't happy with her. The look in his eyes is cold and threatening. The fire adds to the effect. "Is that what I am to you? A wild creature that you can observe?" Anon continues glaring at Twilight with a blank stare. "No, you act different than the humans I've met. You aren't social and you're secretive. I want to observe so I could come up with an educated answer to why you act that way." "I like being alone. As I mentioned earlier, I've been on my own for a while, so I've gotten used to being alone. I'm not saying that I don't like or hate being around people. It's just what I'm used to doing." "Does that answer your question?" It will suffice. I would still like to know more, though. Good luck with getting anything out of me. Anon returns his gaze to the fire and picks up the scroll. He returns to eating. Meanwhile, Twilight uses magic to levitate a small box from her saddlebag. She sets it close to Anon. He looks at it suspiciously. Anon tosses what's left of the scroll into the fire and picks up the box. What the hell is this? Anon asks. A care package. The girls and I compiled some stuff to give you. Pinky calls it a welcome to Ponyville present. Twilight replies. Anon shakes his head in disgust. He makes it clear that he doesn't need help. However, he didn't want to be any ruder about it than he already had been. Anon picks up the box and opens it. There's a small leather bag that is tied off by some string. Below it was a dark blue blanket with intricate design patterns. After that was a compilation of cookbooks. Surprisingly to Twilight, Anon cracked a half smile. Look inside the bag, Twilight says. That one is from me. Anon complies and takes a peek at the bag. He raises his eyebrow in interest. Then he lowers the bag and looks at Twilight. I don't need any money, Anon announces dryly. Since it's a gift, I accept it. You're welcome. It won't last forever, so use it sparingly, Twilight warns. I'll find a job and pay you back every cent. Anon, it's a gift. Use it, Twilight adds, a pleading tone to her voice. And where will you find a job? The pleading style is gone. I used to be a landscaper. I'm not a professional, but life will be okay if I can get some money. Also, used to do odd jobs in high school. That's another source of income. I'm sure there's some pony that would pay you to help them with something. Do you plan to do with the money you earn? I don't know. Buy a house or rent one? Buy food, more than likely. So you plan to stay here? Until I can. Anon hesitates. He knows that returning to his world would not be possible. Only because the more he thought about it, the more not returning to his world sounds better. A new start, a clean slate. The situation he's in is perfect for that. You know what? Never mind, Anon states. Okay. I've got a couple of questions about, well, the ponies here, Anon announces. I'll answer any questions you have. What are those tattoo things on your asses? Anon points to Twilight's flank. Twilight blushes at Anon's question. She notes that Anon has no problem with being straightforward with everything. They're cutie marks. Anon raises his eyebrow. Are they a symbol of something? Sort of. You get cutie marks when you discover what you're good at. Let me get this straight. If you do something like paint a picture, a cutie mark of a paintbrush could pop up on your ass. Basically. There's more to it than that, though. I'll take the basic description. Another thing, I've seen Pegasi, unicorns, and regular ponies. What kind of pony are you? I'm a combination of all three. I'm an alicorn. Interesting. The awkwardness soon returns. Twilight and Anon sit in silence while watching the flames. Twilight looks over at Anon and watches him. She could tell he was thinking something by the way he rubbed his chin. What was going on in his head caused her to wonder more about him. He sees Twilight's looking at him. He turns his head to face her. Am I that interesting? He questions. I'm sorry, Anon. Just observing you, Twilight admits. Please don't. It makes me uncomfortable. Noted. Twilight sighs and stands up. As much as I would like to know more about you, I must return to my castle. It's getting late. Got it. I need to hit the sack anyways. Good night, Anonymous. Good night, Princess. Twilight walks back into the darkness as Anon drapes a blanket over him. He grabs Thunderclap from his backpack and embraces it. Anon knows it's childish, but it feels more secure with the old stuffed animal. Anon lays down under his crude shelter, using his backpack as a pillow. He watches the fire die out before attempting to sleep. Anon looks at Thunderclap and smiles. Funny how his toy fits in better than him. This amuses Anon. Maybe this place isn't so bad as I thought, Anon tells Thunderclap. As usual, no reply. Soon after, Anonymous falls asleep. Well, that was part 2 of the chapter. Sorry it's taken me a while to get stuff out. I've been kind of just taking a break throughout posting. Yeah. It's kind of it. Also, I plan on making some art for this. But, yeah. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I did a bit better in the voice acting part of it. But, once again, I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave a comment, and I'll try to get a response out as soon as possible. Well, that's if you got any questions or anything you want to tell me, go ahead. But, yeah, on that note, stay golden, and have a good day.